So I didn't get to watch the very last part of the big branding evolution today. Did anybody get to watch part of it, some of it, all of it? It was so beautiful, wasn't it? My question is this, and maybe you guys can answer if you guys got to watch the very last part. I didn't get to. Do we know when that is starting to ship out? Is it like immediately?
They said new ambassadors or new VIPs immediately get it,
Awesome.
but I don't know about existing people.
Okay. Okay. Well, they're beautiful. I got to see them in person, and that whole video that you guys watched, we got to see in person. That was filmed back in January in Scottsdale, and the bottles are beautiful. Like they are so pretty. Do you guys know Amber Miller? She's a diamond. She's like a farmer's wife and like super passionate about farm stuff. Um, she was literally like jumping up and down and freaking out because like she's really naturally minded, you know. Anyways, it's so beautiful. I'm super excited for, sorry you guys, super excited for everybody to see this. If you guys are not muted, will you mute yourself? I'll make sure that the settings are muted next time. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't get to mute everybody. Okay, perfect. Okay, anyways, super excited about the new branding. It's beautiful. I think that, you know, honestly, I actually, when I looked the other day at a different company's branding, and ours is so beautiful, you guys. Like even what we have right now, so pretty. And so I think that this is just going to put us even more to the top, like with, you know, state of the art products, really intentional, really beautiful, minimalistic marketing, just really pretty. And I like too that it is gender friendly. So it's not like a big, huge pink bottle for the men. So I'm really excited about it. So today and next Monday, we are going to meet up here for training and inspiration. And I've asked multiple people who I've heard they have incredible health stories. And I've also reached out to a few gals who I've seen move the needle forward in their business. So you are here as a brand ambassador with Plexus. We hope that you find value out of these calls. I hope that you guys walk away.
So I came up and around and we chased the cat.
I hope that you guys find value out of some of the things that they're going to teach us through what's working for them with their business. I hope that you hear these stories of health changes, thinking about other people in your life of who has a similar story that you can then go and say, hey, I listened to my friend Brittany last night and she was sharing her story and it reminded me so much of you. Would you mind if I sent you her story? So these I want you guys to use, not just to soak in, but use these things that you're learning. So tonight, I'm really excited that we get to have Brittany, who is under Kelly Winter. I haven't had a chance to meet her yet. She's going to share a little bit of her health story, and then we're going to transition over to Abby, my sister, who just ranked up to Ruby, and we're going to hear about what's happening with her and her business and what she sees working. So, Brittany, if you would like to start, we'd love to hear your story.
Okay, hi ladies. So my story is I'm 27 and at the age of 20, I was diagnosed with diverticulitis. And for those of you who aren't familiar with that, it's basically like an intestinal infection. I got my gallbladder removed, early 20s. Always struggled with really bad belly bloat and gut problems forever. And from all of that, horrible gut issues, also had cystic acne. I got my gallbladder removed because I was always bloated. I found that high carb foods would cause more bloating. And so steaks, I couldn't eat without bloating, having to unbutton my pants, pizzas, pasta, all of that. And then so then after getting the gallbladder removed, I wasn't like getting any better. So I kind of dug into like more holistic, like how could I fix this problem? And then started chiropractic care, and I had seen Kelly sharing a lot about plexus. So I jumped on the plexus bandwagon, and ever since, like with plexus and chiropractic, I have not had a diverticulitis flare up. I don't have to unbutton my pants every time I eat a high carb food. Um, so those are like cystic acne is no more. I can go out without makeup on comfortably. Um, and then some other big wins that I've had with plexus about, what was it, about a month ago, I am still nursing. I have a 9-month-old, and I started plexus and I was producing a lot more milk than I was with my first child. And so I got my very first clogged milk duct. And one of my teammates, they said, well, I had that and ease had helped me tremendously. And I can say I got my clogged milk duct out that night, like with taking ease. I met up with Kelly and took ease that night, and that night it was gone, which was so incredible. So increased milk supply. I went from pumping 3 to 4 ounces, and once I started and incorporated hydrate in, I was getting about 9 to 11 ounces. So over doubled my milk supply. My daughter, maybe TMI, but when she nurses now, it sounds like she's chugging, like she can't keep up with my crazy milk supply. And I have the energy to keep up with my kids. I have a 3.5-year-old, which most of the time I was like, I don't want to go and do things. I just want to be a bum and sit inside and cuddle my baby. And now I'm like, today, the nice weather, I was outside. We went for a walk. I got my morning exercises in, all of the good things. I'm feeling great. And yeah, I love plexus. So my routine, in case any of you are wondering, I started out with triplex. Kelly gave me a couple samples. I fell in love right away. So I highly encourage samples if people are interested. So I do ProBio 5 and BioCleanse, 2 of each at night, Vital Biome. And then Ease I incorporated in after I saw that crazy benefit from the clogged milk duct, because I never want one again. X Factor and Hydrate. And I'm excited to try the new lemon lime hydrate.
And that's only after 3 months of being on the products, isn't that right?
Yes.
That's incredible. So which
It
Slim
is.
do you take, Hunger Control or the Microbiome?
So I started with Microbiome, and this last subscription order, I did Hunger Control. So just because with nursing, like I was very guilty. I never like was a snacker. I tended to feed my kids, and then it was like, oh, like find something little to snack on. So now with summer, I am trying the Hunger Control.
Are you noticing any difference there, like with your bloating with the Hunger Control?
I am, and we're doing that inflammation challenge. So it was like I did the Hunger Control and then in the loading doses of Ease. And so it has been, yeah, like my pants feel not so tight.
That's amazing. Does anybody
Yeah.
have any questions for Brittany? And just pause. When I asked her if she would share her story, she's like, are you sure it's me and not my sister-in-law? Are you sure? And I was like, I don't know. I just have heard that you have a really great story. And then Liz sent me her a screenshot of one of her posts. And I was like, oh, yes, you absolutely need to share that. So isn't that hilarious how we might think like, oh, we don't have that big of a story to share. But I mean, even just one of those things out of everything that you're starting to see is huge. I mean, the cystic acne, the nursing, like the increase in your milk supply, the lessening of your bloating, the more energy. I mean, that's amazing. And something else, I feel like I'm missing something else. The gluten intolerant, or not gluten, but
Yeah.
the carb heavy stuff.
Yes. And like, I think my biggest thing was diverticulitis, because at that point, like I had gotten it so often that they told me they wanted me to get the colostomy bag put in if I had one more flare up. And like, I didn't want that. So now I'm like, hopefully I never have to worry about that again.
And so you're on 2 BioCleanse.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yes.
That's awesome. Does anybody have any questions for Brittany? Think about people in your life maybe that have just started, or maybe people that started with you a year or so ago that may have had diverticulitis and they stopped because they had bad detox. Like, I wonder if, you could connect with Brittany and connect with them and see about restarting them. Anybody have any questions?
I actually have one. I always do.
I love it.
Did you have any type of detox that was like notable? And if so, what'd you do about it?
So I personally didn't have any really bad detox symptoms. I got acne. I would say like it was a couple days after I started, like my breakouts were really bad, but I knew I was like, okay, this has to be because like with having had cystic acne, like that was getting it out, purging. And then I did get really bloated. I will add, my mom is on it and she has diverticulitis and not to scare anybody, but she like has gotten so sick. But I'm like, she literally gets diverticulitis every month. And so she's just is so frequently getting it. And we just have told her like, just go down, but don't give up because her body is so toxic right now because it's like constant antibiotics. So we just tell her to be very persistent with it because we have to get it out.
When you started with just the triplex, right? What was your regimen? Do you remember when you got started and kind of how you transitioned up?
So I believe I did 2 ProBio 5, 1 Bio Cleanse, and then I wasn't going to the bathroom. Like, so I wasn't regular. And then Kelly had me up it to 2, and now I wasn't regular before Plexus, and now I literally like wake up every morning and go to the bathroom. So I think I found like my regimen.
And isn't it so fun to talk about your personal pooping to a whole team here of 44 people that you've never met?
It's normal here.
It's normal. I know. I'm like, we talk poop every day. Like, tell me, what do your bowels look like?
Yes.
Well, Brittany, thank you so much. This is amazing to hear your story. Thank you for taking time out of your evening to share with us. I know that it's super scary, but you were like a natural. You seem like super cool and calm about this all. So thank you for taking time. If you guys have questions, put them in the chat here or send Brittany a separate message. I'm sure she'd be more than happy to help like walk you through any questions that you guys might have with her regimen. Thank you, Brittany. You're awesome.
Yes, thank you.
And then Abby, she and her level 1 gold, who will hopefully be senior gold this month or next, Caitlin. Caitlin got sick, and so she's not able to be on tonight. But I asked Abby and Caitlin just to share a little bit of what's working in their business, or maybe a little bit of training, a little bit of just inspiration or like encouragement to those of us who are doing the business. If you know Abby's story, I don't want to steal the show here, but with Abby, she went senior gold pretty quickly. When she finally decided to do the business, she went senior gold, I think like within a year, and then sat at senior gold for a while. And so it's been really, really cool to see her sitting at that place, but really growing in her leadership, growing in her relationships, really becoming a sponge and soaking in a lot of training and stretching herself, loving on her team. And then now seeing like they're in this really beautiful momentum. They just ranked up to Ruby as a team. And so I'm excited for Ab to share a little bit of her story and some inspiration for us.
Okay, well, Em basically just told you guys everything, so call's over. Oh man. Okay, so when Em asked me this to come and share, I literally about peed my pants. Guys, I get so self-conscious of sharing what I'm doing because I don't want to steer anybody in the wrong direction, which is one of the things I've had to get over. Like my heart is racing right now telling you guys this, but like it is something I've had to get over because I just don't want to screw anybody else up. And so since like realizing that and like voicing that, I've been forcing myself to share on my team thread, which is like having to do that has been really good. It's been really good growth. And so thank you guys for your encouragement, but like literally like upper lip sweat and everything. So it's great. We're definitely sisters. It's fine. Anyways. Okay. So sharing just a little bit about our story. So we went senior gold. We started sharing. So as most of you know, like I unfollowed my sister for 3.5 years for sharing about Plexus. So literally wanted nothing to do with it. Thought it was a total scam. Decided that we wanted to do the business because I saw her going like Emerald and on all these fun trips, even though I was really jealous of the trips prior to all of this. Like I was like, she's just posting and it's magic and making all this money. Oh my gosh, guys, it's so much work. But it is so much work. So we don't know what we don't know. And so we went senior gold in October of 2020 and then sat there until March of 22. And so like what, 16, 17 months, like a long time. And so some of it we were pregnant, some of it we had just had our baby. So, you know, there's a lot of different life in there. But I think some of the things that really stood out is we all met Kristen Boss, and we love Kristen Boss. And one of the things that she has said over and over in her podcasts is maintaining and growing your business are two very different chunks of action. And so we maintained senior gold just fine, but I wasn't doing work. Once we hit senior gold, I just kind of stopped. I was like, oh, I have a team. Yay, they're going to do all the work. No, your team does what you do. And so I stopped, and so did my team. And so that's why we were stuck for so long. And I was like, oh, why aren't we growing? Why aren't we growing? Why aren't we growing? Well, I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't training myself. If you know any of Christina Williams' story, hers was she shot up real quickly as well. And then she also plateaued. She was not training herself either. And so learned about Kristen Boss, started listening and like just really starting to train myself. Didn't really know what I wanted to train myself on. But then John Maxwell, we all fall in love with that man, like grandpa wisdom. I think somebody said that before, but I just love him. But so in October, I have it all written down so I don't forget things. And so I'm not as nervous. But in October, I started training myself, not consistently at all. And I'll be very honest, I'm still not super consistent because life is crazy. And sometimes you get 5 minutes, sometimes you get 10 minutes, sometimes you get a full hour, but that's okay. Doing something, it's at least on your radar, has been really important. So in October this past year, I really started like training myself because I started going back to work. So we had Georgia in June, and then I didn't go to work at all until about October. Well, October, I went back 1 day a week, and I realized, oh my gosh, this is really hard to be like a working mom. Like, and I hate pumping. So there's that. So then in October, we went back once a week, and we switched up, and then I ended up going back 2 days a week after Thanksgiving. And then come January, we went back to my full halftime schedule, which was 3 days a week. Well, in October, I think it started to set in like, oh my gosh, like I'm leaving my child so I can go watch other people's kids to be a teacher. Like it was just really frustrating, and it's gotten more frustrating the more that I do it. I still love teaching and I love my job, but I would much rather prefer to be home with my daughter. And so October started training myself. And I think that was the impetus, like that why got a little bit more intense. And then in November, something just kind of happened. And I don't know if it was a conversation I had with my husband where he asked me, he said, so Ab, are we going to do this as a business, or is this just going to be like a hobby where we just kind of stay here? And that was like a total slap in the face, because I was like, oh, this is a business. It's been a business the whole time. Like, how dare you say that? But then I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, well, Kristen Boss is talking about maintaining and growing. So really, like, it's fantastic that this has been paying our mortgage, but that's not all that we want out of it. And if that's not all I want out of it, then I've got to show up like it's a business, like a legit business. And so at that point, decided like to continue, like really pressing into things. And then in December, Diamonds in December, there's 2 trainings, because I didn't listen to all of them because, like I said, inconsistent with training, but it's at least on my radar. So that's a good start. But there's 2 that really, really stuck out. Megan Malakovic's, hers was about the 4 pillars of belief with the whole thing. Like it was the products, it was the business, like network marketing as a whole. I don't remember the other 2. Apparently I already believe in them. But the thing that I struggled with that I did not realize was belief in the products, which is silly. But like Em was talking earlier, my story seems very insignificant to me. It doesn't seem like it makes a big difference. It's like, oh, well, I can go out without makeup now. Oh, well, my A1C dropped. Okay, like that doesn't seem significant to me. And so like I was like, oh, well, is gut health really real? And so I literally started YouTubing and finding like doctors who are talking about gut health and what it's related to, because I didn't believe what was actually working with the products. And in December, I wrote on a piece of paper, I am Ruby, December of 2021. We did not go Ruby December 2021 or January 22 or February 22, but it was there and we just started to push it out. And so I think in December, after that Megan Milakovic and realizing, oh my gosh, it's gut health. It's like, I need to learn more about this so that I can feel confident in it. After I realized that, I think things just really started to fall into place. And then we've heard for quite some time, show up like a diamond. Like if you want to be a diamond, show up like a diamond. And so I started doing that. And as a business owners do sales to get people in the door. Like, here's a clearance sale. This is fun. And so at the very end of December, I did like a free membership thing. I started off with free shipping, but then realized that was a lot more expensive. So then I switched it to free memberships. It's fine. But so did free memberships, and that spurred on some of my business builders to they went crazy. A couple of them just went crazy. And then I think that set the momentum in place that happened January, February, and March. And so we started doing, like, once I realized show up like a diamond, because that's what I want. We started doing weekly power hours. Yes, I was the only one on them multiple times in a row. Yes, I sat at my kitchen table feeling really awkward as I'm typing and like messaging people. But I sat there for the full 40 minutes. And I told my husband, I said, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be here by myself, but I'm gonna do it. Don't let me cop out. And he didn't. And so I literally sat there and I did my 40 minutes and nobody showed up. But the next time, one person showed up. And the next time, 2 people showed up. And the next time, 3 people showed up. And so it's just like, it gives me chills thinking about it, because if I had stopped, they wouldn't have showed up. If I didn't offer it because, oh, somebody didn't come to my power hour the first time, they wouldn't have kept coming. And so we've consistently been doing more weekly power hours. February and March, we did them consistently for sure. January, we started kind of playing with the timing, and we're going to have to play with it again because it's not fitting, because now it's spring sports season and whatever there. But then I also in February, I started doing a weekly plan. And so everybody's like, oh, what system do you use for what works for you? What works for you? And I don't know if you guys are anything like me, but you've tried this notebook. And so this has a bunch of names, and this planner, and it has a bunch of names. And then, oh, I tried Excel and that has a bunch of names. But then I finally settled on one, and because I tried it, and I like legit tried it for probably like a solid 3 weeks. And so what's working for me now, which it's likely to change, is I have like a notebook of all the names, and I make a list of people who I want to reach out to, brand new reach outs, and a list of follow-ups. And I literally just list them down. It doesn't matter anything, but so list them down. Then I have my planner, and I have shifted, because this is what works for me being back at school 3 days a week, is chunking up my messaging. And so instead of doing one reach out, one follow-up, one of all of those every day, that was taking too much for my brain to just shift back and forth. So ended up doing reach outs on one particular day, follow-ups on a particular day. And so that has really helped me, which I didn't realize. And I actually pushed back on that for quite some time, because I was like, oh, well, that doesn't feel right. I'm supposed to reach out to somebody every day. I'm supposed to follow up every day. No, you do what works for you, get the work done in the week. And so that was really helpful. But like, I literally used my planner and I wrote down, I really struggle with clearing out my inbox daily, which is a problem, because that means you are not responding to people in a timely manner, which means they lose interest, you lose credibility, both of those things. And so I started making like a checklist for myself. I like lists, that works for me. And so on my list, every day is my inbox. Every day is my team thread because we're forcing me to share because that's uncomfortable for me. So I need to check it off. That makes me feel productive. And then whatever messaging that I'm doing that day, whether it be reach outs, follow ups, or whatever. And I have those names listed. So I pull them from the notebook and I put them over into my planner and I list them out. So that way I literally open up my planner every day and I use it. I actually use a planner and open it every day. I bought a planner a lot of times, but I would open it like once a week or once a month. So it didn't work. So those are some things that I did when we were at Leaders Retreat. Christina Williams, I met her and I totally got upper lip sweat and like fangirling and all of that over here. But she told me, she said, write down your points every single day. Write down your points so that way you have data to go back to. So when you are feeling like things are in a lull, look back at the month prior and you can see that those numbers are the same. You're not in a lull. You just haven't added anybody. And so after Leaders Retreat, I started doing that. And it's actually been really helpful because that also has like encouraged me to get into my back office every day, which I also was not doing prior to this. And so there's a lot of things that have just like daily work. If you're not daily, then you don't know where you are. And then as far as Ruby in February, this was really fun and I was really nervous about it. But I announced wanting to go Ruby as a team. And so I made a fun little graphic and it was like, this is the month we become a Ruby team. And so I announced it and I was really nervous that was going to come off as a very selfish thing. But if you're a team, you work best when you're all going toward the same goal. And so I put up the graphic and then how many people we needed to add. And then probably about halfway through the month, when I got a little bit more comfortable being uncomfortable about, okay, we're going to go Ruby, we're going to go Ruby, we're going to go Ruby. Then I started announcing, okay, we just added so many people. You guys are doing so great. And so really like catching the fire, like we're getting so close. And when we got halfway to the ad goal, we made a big deal of it. And then toward the end of the month, we did some incentives, like different prizes and stuff. And my team, and I love Plexus swag, just love it. It's like, okay, Plexus keychain. Yeah. Plexus bracelets. Yeah. Am I ever going to wear them? I don't know, but I want it. And so like getting all of that fun stuff, it was just really, it was exciting. The excitement, it just continued. And so then we would announce another ad. Oh, so-and-so celebrated and they added somebody else. Let us celebrate you. I really struggle to say, hey, I just did this. Come tell me I did a good job. And so because I know that means I also struggle to celebrate my teammates because I don't want anybody else to feel bad. But by not celebrating people, we overlook their accomplishments and their achievements and what they've done. And so, there's a lot of things that I'm working on as far as celebrating my effort, celebrating my team's effort and staying consistent with training, but I'm aware of it. And so that means we can do something about it. And so, I think those are the big things that I have done. My level 1, Caitlin, there's 3 things that she and I talked about for her. She has gotten really bold with asking people to post or host an event. She's gotten very bold and she's not using if they don't post, then I'm not going to do an event. No, she offers either one and she's doing a fantastic job with it. Somebody actually just went fast start silver for her. They were not wanting to post, but they were like, yeah, sure, I'll do an event. Well, after the event, then they posted because she did a posting challenge for her team. And so that caught some fire there. Something else she's doing is the training piece. My team does what I do. And so when my training started kicking up and I started sending podcasts and everything, she started doing the same thing. And then the last thing is she is also, both of us, our maternity leave ended. So we both miscarried at the same time, had our rainbow babies within 3 weeks of each other. And we're also like cousins-in-law or something like that. And so we both went back to work to our full schedules in January. And that's also when everything just intensified as far as like the passion to teach is significantly less than the passion to be home with our babies. And so that has increased massively. And I think that's a lot of the reason where like that why has just gotten a lot bigger. And so since she's been back to work, she has been using her time when she's pumping. She calls them her power pumps. Yeah, Belle. She calls them her power pumps. And so she pumps for 15 minutes and she does her IPA for 15 minutes. So she also is planned out and ready to roll. I don't think she would be embarrassed of me telling you guys that, but those are the things that she has done. But she's got like a 30-minute commute both directions, and she's been listening to podcasts instead of music on her way to and from. And so she's learning while her little girl's in the car. And so it's just, I think those are the things that have really helped us. But I think the awareness, everything kicked off when I didn't realize that I didn't know whether I believed in the products or not, because my story was so insignificant seeming to me. So sorry, that was long-winded.
No, it was so good. I want to ask you, what was the second Diamonds in December video that was really inspiring? I put in the chat here the link to the video for Megan's video. So if you guys haven't watched that, do that. What was the other one?
So the other one, and this was super helpful for me during March specifically, because we were pushing for Ruby, was Krista Deary's Diamonds in December, about trusting the process. You've done the work, trust the process. It's hardest right before it's about to give way to this beautiful, beautiful, in her example, baby, in other examples, the business or whatever. But her training, that kept coming over and over, because anytime I was discouraged, which I was discouraged a lot in March, I'll be completely honest and transparent with that. That training came up over and over, and I watched it multiple times during March, of trust the process. You've done the work. You've prayed like a wild woman and you're just praying for God to bless the work of your hands. But to also go all in, and to not cop out on the work that has to be done, and not just leave it as a wish. And so those were the two that were really like, boom, let's go.
Thank you, Ab. I put that in the link too, or in the chat as well. If you guys are unaware, when you go to Rising Jewels, there is a grouping at the very front, at the very top, like pin post, or they're called announcements. And I think we have like 18 to 20 different posts in there that I feel like are really important for people as they're running their business. And I actually have all of the Diamonds in December training videos in that one of those pin posts. So I encourage everybody, go and listen to all of those. Let that be your training for April, because they're short. They're really, really good. So I encourage you to go do that. Oh, thank you. Featured post. Does anybody have any questions for Abby? That was really good, Abby. I'm really, really proud of you. You shouldn't be sweating. You're a great trainer. Anybody have any questions specific for Ab? Go ahead, Michaela. Did you want one?
I'm trying to figure out how to ask this question, but basically, like, how did you find your girls on your team? Like, I know like finding business builders and getting people to work under you is like such a thing. So like, where did your girls come from that are like currently working or helped get you to Ruby, or that were creating silvers, like whatever you want to call like those people? How did you find them? Why did they decide to join you? Something like that. That's my question.
I'm going to interrupt before she says anything. Abby has really good intentional posts that are attractive to people who are wanting to work the business. That is something I've noticed about Abby, is she's very intentional with her business posts that really catch the eye. They're authentic, they are from her, and they are very focused on the opportunity.
Well, that makes me feel really good. I didn't know that. So Jessica Heffley's February focus from 2021. I love what she says. She's slightly like nails on a chalkboard as she's talking. She's kind of hard for me to listen to, but I'm just going to be honest. But go listen to that one. She's got some amazing, amazing things. And I did that in February. She talks about posting about the business. If you are not posting about the business at least once every 2 weeks, you will not attract business builders. She talks about posting the referral bonuses. And I have that in my plan this week to put it in my stories, because that's a red personality. I'm also trying to work on that a little bit. Like the personality colors, posting toward them. But so posting about the business, stories in the business, celebrating the team rank ups in the business. But so Savannah and Caitlin have both been with me pretty much since the beginning. Both of them fell in love with the products and wanted to get the products paid for. And so that's where they started. But then in October of 2020, when I stopped, so did they. And so they did what I did. And then when we picked back up in December of 21, so did they. And so I think those are a couple of the pieces. And then in February, the Jessica Heffley February focus, that made a huge impact on how I started to post, because I want business builders. I want to do this with people. It's so much more fun doing it with people and cheering people on, as opposed to just grinding it out by yourself. I think something else was, how do I say this tactfully? So I talked with Deb Von Bergen at Leaders Retreat as well. And she is an emerald. And something she said was that, and I think I was actually feeling pretty discouraged at Leaders Retreat, I'll be very honest as well. But she talked about how she told God she would give it her all for 1 month and show me that I'm supposed to be here. So not shortcutting the work, but doing the work, giving it everything. What she also said was the people who talked about the business, but weren't really doing anything, she went and found people who wanted the business and were doing the things. And so there are people out there who want the business, who will work for it. They just haven't found the business yet. And so it is our job to go and find them, to connect them with that business, because then that will, they will go on their own. Another thing that really has helped my mind builders is Elaine. She posted in M's level 1 thread a John Maxwell quote about how do you motivate your people? And his response was, I don't. I hire motivated people and I support them on their way. And so I think between that quote, those are who I'm looking for. I'm not looking for somebody who I have to handhold the entire way and nudge them along, because that means I'm always going to be nudging them, which means that's always extra work, which we don't need extra work. We have so much of our own. And so I think, finding the people who are ready to go, who are looking for something, we just have to find them. They are there. The bricks of gold are in our backyard. You just have to find them. And quite frankly, grow a pair so you can find them and ask them. That's sorry.
That's why I said it's recorded.
It's fine. It's fine. I didn't question anything. We still love Jesus.
Hey, Abby, can you walk me through in a little bit more detail what your points were like from December to when you ranked up? Like, how quickly did you move? And just for your team, because I feel like I'm pushing for Ruby this month, but I'm also afraid of not making it, which is silly because I know even if I push for it, I'll just get closer.
So, oh gosh. So in February, we ended at 394. In January, we ended at maybe 330-ish. And then if you guys have been on accountability group at all, I keep talking about how my team is on fire. I could feel it coming. And so I wrote down on a piece of paper, I am Ruby in December, in January, in February, and it finally happened in March. And so really just pushing the deadline for myself, but I could feel that we were ready Like there was something different about February getting so close. And maybe it was just the excitement that was there in February, getting so close to 400. And then it was like, okay, let's just go. Like, let's just try. Like let's announce it. Like there's so much excitement. Let's use that and see what happens. And it happened. So I don't know if that's helpful.
Well, guys, this was a wonderful call. Abby, obviously, you have so much to offer, but I also really like that it's simple. Like you made a decision and you started training yourself. It wasn't this huge, complex thing that only a few people can do. You made that decision. You started pouring into where you were maybe lacking in belief, and you started showing up for your team even when they were not at the point where they were ready to show up, and you didn't give up. So very important. And being patient and knowing that this, again, as we always say, is a marathon, not a sprint. Your worth is not wrapped up in your points, but show up like you're a business owner. Show up like you mean it. Love your people well. Take care of your business and have hard conversations with your spouse where he says, are we doing this or not? Like that is very important because this is a hard job. It is that uphill push, but it is so beautiful and fulfilling. I mean, look at all of these women here. 44 of you tonight on a Monday night, all across the country, coming together, hearing Brittany's beautiful story and being inspired to go and help other people. Hearing Abby's story, how she's able to help all these other women reach their goals while she's changing things for her family to be able to stay home with Georgia. There's such a beauty in what we do that the hard push uphill is worth it because you have all of us pushing with you. We are all standing around. I'm crying right now, but we are all standing around applauding. We get it. Like this is such a special, special thing. So don't feel like you're alone in this. And just remember, like you can do this. You just have to start getting into action. You have to start training yourself, sharpening your skills, asking questions, stretching your comfort zone, growing always. We love you guys so much. We hope that you will come back next Monday night where we have Lauren and Kylie sharing their training for us. And then we have Annika. I don't know if she's on here, but she's going to be sharing her health story. I'm super excited. This was really life-giving tonight. Thank you all for being on. And take a look. I won't shut this off yet, so you guys can go and copy the links. But the February focus, those are all also in Rising Jewels. You can use the search bar and type in February focus. Daily power hours. Come and join us, 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. Central Time would be 10:30 every morning. We'd love to have you guys. Thanks, guys, for being on. We'll see you guys soon. What you guys doing? Just hanging out?
I'm trying to find the Megan Malakovic one. And I can't find it.
Okay, hang on. I'll find it again. I didn't know if you were just staring at my beautiful face.
I'm not. I haven't even looked at you. I found the Jessica Heffley and the Krista Deary one, and I can't find the Megan Malakovic one.
Mama's got it. Mama's got it right here. I'll just send it back again. I'll put it at the very bottom, okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Nancy, which one are you looking for? Or are you just looking at me because you just like to eat my presents?
I was just scrolling up at the comments a little bit because I hadn't looked at them.
Well, continue.
Okay, now I'm leaving.
Great.
Well,
That was really encouraging, though.
It
But
was, wasn't it?
Abby's not still on, is she?
No, she's not.
Sorry, hopped
But
off.
I can
Okay.
relay anything to her if you want me to, or you can ask in the level
Oh.
1 thread.
Yeah, I guess I can ask in the
Yeah, do
of
that.
one thing, unless you might know. Her when she talks about her team or her thread, was it just, does she have a thread with just her business builders? Is that
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
one that she's like talking about with the where they
Yeah.
started the action and doing the different things?
Yep.
Okay. Do you know how big that, do you know how many people or how big that was when she started that?
I can look. Hang on one second.
Because I feel like right now I really have 2 people that
Yeah.
are like trying to share consistently. So I don't know if I should do a thread with just those 2 and then just keep adding more people as that starts, or if my thread that kind of has everybody but just lots of just customers that I still
Yeah.
send like links to thing on, but there's not really any action happening in that group.
You know what? She's got 15 in here, but she really only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 8 of them dabbling. So
Okay.
I see like
That
she
will
does have,
interact.
yeah. Yeah, I think you just keep going with your group, like your people who are doing the business, like you keep, I would dial it down. Like if you've got a lot of people in there who aren't doing the business right now, I think I would individually message them and say, hey, I'm just wanting to let you know, like I'm going to kind of change some things up with our thread. I really want this to be a place that serves the people who are in there who are wanting to do the business. Is that something that you are interested in doing? If not, I'm happy to, take you out of there so you don't keep getting all the notifications, because I really want it to be a blessing to you if you are in there. And then if they're like, I'm not at that place or I'm ready to do that, then you can delete them, remove them from there. And then even if it's just 3 of you, when you guys are connected, I feel like that makes it like special. Like you can show up more to them. Like, hey guys, this is what I did today. Or you know what, like let's have a power hour. And then if y'all are able to jump on, like I'm gonna send you guys a coffee card. Like let's work together and have coffee together or some, like I feel like when you have less people, but they're all kind of doing the same thing, it makes it easier to lead. Whereas I feel like when you have a big thread, you kind of are afraid of like, I don't want to overwhelm these people by talking too much. So, I mean, I think that's what I would do. And then, as far as like if you're wanting to have a way to connect with all of your customers, that might be something that I don't know. Liz was saying the other day, like she just does customer care every Friday. Like that's her day to do customer care. And so you could always, because you don't necessarily, I don't think you'd want to have a page because that gets you into more management mode and that takes away from your income producing activity time. Yeah. So and you've got Trust Your Gut, which is large, but maybe you could adjust where you're doing customer care individually rather than all trying to do it in like one thread and then do your thread as your business people. And that's starting to build that culture right there, right then and there, even if it's just 3 of you. That will make it more intimate, I think.
Okay. Yeah. Because I've kind of struggled with that. Originally, I told people to tell them about business stuff, but it doesn't seem like that's what it is. So
That's what I would do,
like, what do I
Nance.
share? What do I not share? So I like
That's what
that.
I would do. I would show up to that thread once you've dialed it down to who wants to be there, who wants to do the business. And like Ab said, like share the things that you're doing, share a message that you've sent, share training that you watch, because like Tessa's doing the business with you, Elise is doing the business. And so they might be overwhelmed with gold diggers. But if you've got a smaller group thread, I think that will really unite you guys. And then you guys can do fun little challenges like a hashtag what I did today for a week. And then, at the end of the week, you send them a $5 Chick-fil-A card or something, like it can be simple and small, but I think that's what I would do for sure.
Okay. Yeah, that's helpful because that's kind of what I want it to be, but it's not. So I like that, just reaching out to each person and just dialing it down.
And making
I
it
wasn't
about
sure if like
them.
it would be inspiring in any way for them to see it occasionally, but I don't know. I think just doing more individual
Yeah.
care if someone's like kind of
Yeah.
interested but doesn't want to be on the thread.
Yeah.
Would be helpful.
And then I think you asking the question of like, I know you're on this thread, however you want to word it, but asking like, is the opportunity something that you'd be interested in doing? Then you also have a good idea of, no, they're not interested in that, or yeah, they are. And then that can start a whole new conversation for you with doing an event for them and all that. Yeah,
Okay.
that's what I would do.
Yeah, thanks.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate it.
All right. Well, it's good visiting with you, and I'm excited
Yeah.
that you're coming to convention. I mean, if you earn winner's dinner, I'm assuming you're coming to
Right.
convention.
Well, that's the plan. Hopefully so. So,
Yay. Well, good. Okay. Well, we will see you later. Thanks for being on.
great. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.